to first of all ground into your own heart space, ground into your center, lean into your ancestors. I upped the ante tonight for us. So we're going to start with some somatics because, I bet some of you have some emotions up. Yes? Anybody got some emotions up? Yeah. So as we come together, first of all, I want you to greet yourself with who you are and who you meet today. Today is a wonderful day to be yourself. However you are manifesting. I've heard from many people today. And the fact that you're here when we just came up with the idea. Oops, I'm gonna cry. Take a breath with me. I, for one, am very sad, and which is why I'm so happy we can be together to ignite the fire and the flame and to really do the work with our hearts. If our hearts are broken, we've got a gift to receive from our brave and courageous work of putting our hearts out there and putting our dreams out there. But we're going to begin with some somatics. Okay, so if you're comfortable standing, you can do this from your seat, but we got a little shaking to do, just the 2 to 3 minutes, and as much shaking as you want to, but really make sure you get your hands, your arms moved, and your feet and your legs. Really make sure the toes aren't gripping. And if you've got sound, I think I'm the only one that's not muted. Oh, yeah, so just, whew, yeah, wherever you are, feeling the land ancestors beneath you, feeling them supporting you, the land ancestors, naming them, feeling the dirt and the color of the dirt under your feet. Okay, make sure you get your bum shook up. Another place we hold tension, and maybe you've got some brushing to do along with the shaking. Whew. Okay. Okay, house two, ready to sit? You can keep shaking if you want to, but we're gonna do some other things for our nervous system. In case you got activated. Yes. So let's warm up our hands. I'm gonna cup them over our ears. Yeah. Now let's do a little massage of our ears. Enjoy the sounds of your ear being rubbed as you breathe and drop in. Tonight is about settling, coming deeply home. And then use the pointer fingers and do circles on the top part of the ear. You're going to do both directions, so you can go either way. Breathing. And then pull the ears out gently to the sides as you breathe. Notice what you notice. I noticed that helped change my breath. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. Get little tugs. Okay, now we're going to warm up our hands again. Just some polyvagal things to help us come back into a place of well-being. Okay, cup the hands over the eyes. Just letting the eyes rest. Feeling the warm blanket of the eyelid. And the warmth of your hands. And then the jaw. at least 3 breaths. And the heart. And the heart and the belly. As you breathe, just really notice the midline of the body that goes way deep into the earth. And just notice what you notice, knowing your hands are on somebody's baby. Okay, warm hands again. We're going to do the eyes one more time. And jaw. Heart. The heart and belly. Mhm. We're going to do one more time. Again, if your hands are still warm, or heat them up if you want to. Just again, cherishing these amazing eyes of ours. It's a kind of a sneaky place to hold tension. So just inviting the eyes to rest in the watery sockets. Like they're in a little special cosmic duvet. Okay, jaw. Heart. Just tuning into your own heart in this moment. Being ever so kind. And accepting, naming, accepting. Mine's tender. And a heart, hand on the heart, hand on the belly. Now tuning into your nervous system. Maybe it shifted, maybe not, but just notice. And you can peek again to notice that you're with a really beautiful group of people. Checking in with yourself. Do I feel safe in this moment? Am I comfortable in this moment? And am I present? Not said as a judgment, but as an invitation to open the door to more light. So we're just going to do a short sit before a short talk. Again, breathe in, breathe out. It can help to have an audible sigh as you settle, even more rolls. Drop in. And as we settle, once again, feeling the strength and beauty of the earth. Or fall in the northern hemisphere. And tuning in, we're still in the thin veil time of the year with our ancestors very close. We invite them and thank them. And then just resting your body, just how the body is in this moment. It was one of the few times in my many years with Thai that he made up a word that the Buddha didn't say. Thai said he invented that we can have mixed feelings. He was sure that the Buddha would have appreciated his contribution. And light up the incense of your heart with whatever will feel nourishing and strengthening. And with grief comes gratitude. See what gratitude's up on your heart in this moment. As we're tuning in, we can extend some of this light of gratitude to Camilla, her family, Tim, the family, and the staff. And gratitude to the many that poured their hearts, many hours of work and love. And maybe that was you. I know some of you in this room did a lot of letters, door knocking. But feel our gratitude. Just listen to your heart to see what these folks have taught us. Gratitude to the many who attended meetings, wrote letters, put up signs. And any other gratitudes coming up, I'm grateful for Thich Nhat Hanh, when Larry and I would experience some kind of tragedy of some sort, he would say, "I'm so sorry that happened." And it did. And you have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do. Whatever dream of yours might have gotten a little tarnished, dust it off with the incense of love. And come back with a hand on the heart and a hand on the belly.
Good day to you all. I trust you are well enough for love. Because that's what this is all about. This is not quite a talk. I have two poems inspired by the election process. Here's the first one. Some monkeys stole the mic, praising the doctrine of discovery day and night, perfuming the land with smells of manifest destiny. Now furious, ego anger rises as it discovers that it is not destined to become God it wished to be, because it was never intended for anyone to be that God. Some monkeys stole the mic. I wrote that before the election on election day. But I woke up this morning. When my eyes opened, I knew who had won and why. So I wrote this poem, or this poem wrote itself. If you really wanted to be an all-white nation, you should have not brought me here. To work the fields of cotton and tobacco, to break my back laying railroad track, fix your meals, raise your children, and tolerate and transcend your cruelty and my tears. Your trauma is very deep, so deep, as I have now realized, is vast. It encompasses you. So troubles are the waters we are in. There is great difficulty passing through. I know that you can pass through because I have done it already. All of our pain flows into the valley of history. If you look and see with the eyes of truth, there were not hordes of non-whites coming at you on January 6th. Rather, it was your fellow white citizens coming after you. Truly, in apocalyptic times, the four horsemen ride: famine, war, conquest, and death without reproach. Fueled by racism, psychic social rage, a white nation swan song made by fear and suffering. The illusion of otherness has been tattered, but remains intact. This is not part of the poem, what I'm going to say next. It's very important that you realize that the Harris campaign was exactly correct. I had a dinner once with Andrew Young shortly after he resigned from being Secretary of State because some lobbyists found out he had a secret meeting with the Palestinians trying to broker peace. And I said to him after he explained things and how disappointed he was, "You're just too early." I think that's my reflection on the overall trajectory of things is if I was going to advise the Harris campaign, it needs to be longer, start earlier. You must recognize the fact that the candidate who won has been working on this for 10 years, putting people in place, putting a mind, thought form in place, all the things which many of us still think are simply politics. It is no longer simply politics. It is psychosocial powers and principalities that we are dealing with. And that will be manifest in politics as it has been. So we must know now it's not as simple as we would have it. What the Harris campaign was doing needs to be done every day, everywhere. Because what we met in this contest, so to speak, it was a campaign that has been doing this thing every day, everywhere. And so it controlled the minefield of most Americans with fear and the taste of anxiety to come. I always find it interesting when I overhear people say lots of things that I don't comment about at the time, but I have heard people say, they're coming for my house. I don't want your house. I want to live in my house peacefully and happily. What do you mean? I'm coming for your house or coming for your anything. I am self-sufficient and self-confident and adaptive human being, like we all are if we choose to be adults. One of the things Thich Nhat Hanh said to us before he passed away is that one Buddha is not enough. Each one of us, on one hand, must continue our own practice and nourishment and cultivating the very best of our qualities as a human being. But the other thing we have to do is we have to do this together more often and rigorously if we intend to have a different outcome than we have had. You must understand some people have took up what you experienced in this election as their vocation, not a vote. There's a movement created, not just a vote. We have to understand now, and this is true all over the planet, what we are dealing with is psychosocial phenomena that is driving politics everywhere. And unless you understand that phenomenon and speak to it, it will fall into the trance of whoever does. So I am hopeful because of this election. And the reason I am hopeful is because I understand a little about the principle of reciprocity in Buddhist thought. And that simply means that the right can't rise any higher than the left, which will emerge when it does. The up and the down wait on each other to manifest. So what's waiting on us to manifest? This election is a clear invitation to understand the vocational aspects of your life. What are you really committed to? What are you willing to be devoted to? And I don't care what it is, but I know without that energy, we cannot overcome the stagnation of constantly going forwards a little bit and going backwards a whole lot. Going forward a little bit and then going backwards a whole lot. Because the energy that's created in the trauma of the American mind, body, and heart has to be cleansed, not eliminated, but taken care of, wrapped, washed, cried over, laughed over. I had a person not long ago ask me, he said he grew up in a Confederate family in history, and he wanted to know if he was cursed. He literally asked that question. I thought that was one of the bravest questions I've ever heard. And I said, no, you're not cursed. From a scientific view, there used to be the question of, is nurture more important or is nature more important? And what the latest conclusion has been for several years now is each one is 100%. 100% nurture and 100% nature. So you're not cursed. You are the gardener of your own heart and mind, and you choose what grows, what you water, what you take care of, and what you let wilt away is all up to you in your practice of spirituality. You are not cursed. You have a path of going forward. We all do. Because in many ways, the modern world has told us all we're cursed and of little value except what we can produce for sale. And life is more than that, bigger than that, vaster than that, and more beautiful than that. Remember, one Buddha is not enough. And you don't have to call yourself a Buddhist to do it. I don't care about that. What I care about is the presence of the energy of compassion and wisdom being cultivated, being nourished, and growing, not just in our individual lives, but in our collective lives, which are equally precious. Thank you for being here.